not everybody can handle it. And they said, no, it's not that. It's not the material. It's not about it being edgy. You just suck. Which is a funny thing, for someone to say from the crowd. I mean, probably not too funny at the time to Dustin because he was on stage doing his act. I never actually heard the guy's act myself. But unfortunately for Dustin, a lot of other people did hear it and they didn't appreciate it. They didn't appreciate it. So, but Dustin Diamond, better known to most people who've ever seen or heard, because they also brought the show back and called it Saved by the Bell, the college years, because those kids were in high school. So a few years later, they brought it back, and then they brought it back again after that. And it was Saved by the Bell something else. They had called it Saved by the Bell something else, where they were out of school, out of college, and had their own jobs and still living in the same, neighborhood and working in the same area. The cast members, I guess. I never watched it after Saved by the Bell. I've seen maybe a couple of episodes of Saved by the Bell, the college years. But for the most part, I didn't really watch the show after Saved by the Bell. But I just wanted to mention Dustin Diamond passed away from cancer, lung cancer. He didn't actually smoke, which is odd and sad, unfortunate, because he's only 44 years old. Not like this guy was an old guy. He was only 44. Younger than me. So anytime somebody younger than me dies, to me that's sad, because I still feel like I'm in decent shape. Okay? I mean, I'm only 51, but still, you dying younger than me, you must have some serious physical ailments. So, condolences to the friends and family of Dustin Diamond. May Screech turn into the Fonz in heaven. Alright, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to a man who's so sexy it's completely ridiculous. Mr. Anthony Scott Dover. Yummy.
Woo! All right. Excuse that sound effect right there. I didn't mean to hit that. I did not mean to hit that sound effect. I meant to hit this one. See, it's a lot shorter and more to the point. We're not at a concert, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Jimi Hendrix or somebody. I didn't mean to hit that sound effect. Anyway, before we went to break, I was talking about a few celebrities that have just passed away. They say that this happens in threes, but it seemed to have happened more. Like I said, Dustin Diamond just died. Cicely Tyson died. Tommy Lasorda died a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. Hank Aaron, so they say it happens in threes. So celebrity deaths. Maybe it's 6 this time or something. It's been sort of regular with some celebrities passing away as of late. But moving on. In the news, people are talking about no Trump news. Actually, there still is Trump news because President Trump is being has been impeached again. Second time he's been impeached, and now they're going to have a trial in the Senate again and decide, since he's already out of office, they're going to decide whether President Trump can ever run for office again, which maybe it's just me, but it seems like a waste of time. Yes, I don't want to see President Trump as, president again. He is eligible to run for president again because he was only president for 4 years. The limit is 8 years, so 2 terms you can only be president, and that's because of Roosevelt. President Roosevelt was president for 3 terms, and after that they decided that's too long for one man to be president. They're going to limit it to 2 terms, and until that changes, that's it. You can only be president for 2 terms. So Roosevelt might be the only president in history to be president longer than 8 years. But anyway, in the news, they were talking about that there's going to be no more Trump news, and that some of the media be bored and not have anything to talk about. And I say, I would prefer it, because I was getting tired of Trump news. I got tired of idiots talking about what's that term? Trump derangement syndrome. I got tired of dumbasses, dick faces saying Trump derangement syndrome. And what it is that they claim that liberals or Democrats or whoever was a Trump hater had Trump derangement syndrome, which is a nonsensical term. It's dumb. I think the people who say it the most are the ones who actually have it, because they're so in love with Trump that they have completely lost their minds about Trump, and they're romanticizing Trump as if he was just a great man. He's the savior of the world. No, Trump was a jackass, a dummy. He was not smart. He's a complete idiot and a dick face. Okay, so nobody except the people who are in love with the guy has Trump derangement syndrome, which is such a stupid term for somebody to get hooked on. And you see that I used to see that term on Facebook all the time, and I think, why are people so obsessed with saying this? Okay, it's and this one guy I know, he said this is a real thing, and I was like, no, it's not, dude. This is not a real thing. So that leads me to believe that he is a nut job, because he said that Trump derangement syndrome was a real thing when it's not. It's just something you like. I just thought it was something he liked to say, just as an insult to people who didn't like Trump, to tell them he wanted to get under their skin, is what I thought. The reason he was saying it, he just wanted to irritate him by saying you have Trump derangement syndrome. No, that's not even true. He didn't want to just irritate him. He actually thought that it was a real thing. And I'm thinking, what kind of nut job are you to think a term that's just made up by the right-wing media is actually real? No doctor, no psychiatrist or psychologist ever said that any type of derangement syndrome for any person on earth was a real thing, let alone a moron like Donald Trump. Just because people didn't like him, they didn't like him because they thought he was an idiot and had no business being president, not because they were deranged and had some kind of syndrome. What kind of nonsense? What kind of moron would think that is a legitimate thing? Come on. Just because you're so in love with him, you have this ridiculous syndrome, doesn't mean everyone else does. They just didn't want him to be president. president anymore. So they voted for Biden. I voted for Biden. I will tell anybody if it comes up. I don't have any derangement syndrome. No Trump derangement syndrome. I just voted for Biden because I thought he was the best candidate. Plain and simple. No conspiracy theories. No derangement syndrome. Just thought he was the better candidate. That's all. So the media was going on and on about not having any Trump news, and I was thinking, I'm glad we don't have any more Trump news. I got tired of the Trump news. Every day there was something in the media, something stupid he either said or something stupid he was doing. Okay? I'm glad there's no Trump news. Okay? We didn't need that to talk about every day. So all the right wingers who say the liberals are going to be, they don't have nothing to talk about. Sure they do. They're going to get on with talking about what they should have been able to talk about in the first place if they didn't have to talk about the idiot in chief. I would call him the commander in chief, but the idiot in charge. We had an idiot as a commander in chief, which was embarrassing for the country that's supposed to be the best country in the world. You know, no one says that except for people here in the U.S. And people who have come here to the U.S. and then gone back to their own countries. Not all of them, because there's some third world countries and there's some war-torn countries that, oh, they're people glad to be here. They don't care about COVID or nothing. They're just glad to not get blown up or not have to be so poor that, you know, they're struggling for scraps when they come here. But from what I heard, they're disappointed that this is supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and they come here and then you get some idiot like Trump being the president. Totally, their expectations were totally shot. Supposed to have a great leader in the White House. And I don't know, you know, if Biden's going to be there or not. I'm just saying, that's, in theory, that's what's supposed to happen here in the U.S., here in America. But moving on. We are not even a week away from the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of February. Groundhog Day, by the way. And before I talk about the Super Bowl, let's talk about this Groundhog Day. Because the reason I want to mention this Groundhog Day, because I just looked at the date that is February 2nd. I remember somebody mentioned that it was Groundhog Day earlier. And Groundhog Day is another annual thing that we do in this country. Is, you know, sort of a tradition that if any of you have seen the movie Groundhog Day, which is a fantastic movie, actually, I recommend it. Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. If any of you have seen the movie, you know that this Groundhog Day takes place in a town called Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And actually there's a smaller town right outside of Punxsutawney called Gobbler's Knob. Sounds X-rated, don't it? Gobbler's Knob. Gobble on this knob. Yeah, I wouldn't be that proud of that name if I was somebody, an official or mayor or somebody of that town. Gobbler's Knob. Who in the hell would name a town Gobbler's Knob? I mean, every time you picture that in your head, you're thinking about some, some porn actress with a big thing in her mouth. Gobbler's Knob. But anyway, Gobbler's Knob.